I read and finished over 15 sci-fi and fantasy series this year, and these are my top 5, the ones that stand out the most, and 3 of them are now in my top 10 favorite series of all time. The Galesong Trilogy by Shauna Lawless. This book is steeped in Irish folklore and mythology, and it follows along 2 immortal women whose races are at odds with each other, and they are also going to be dealing with the fact that Ireland is trying to determine who is going to be the next king as war is ensuing across the land. These books are lyrical, they are poetic, and it is some of the best historical fantasy I have ever read. I loved it so much, and this trilogy is so underrated. The Teixcalonley duology. This book follows along Mahit Dismar, who is the Teixcalonley's newest ambassador, as her predecessor was previously killed, even though she thinks that he's actually been murdered. She has a big secret. His memories are in her brain, and she now has to solve his murder along with trying to keep this secret and also dealing with all the politics that are at play and in motion that she was unaware of. This political intrigue and the political narrative is some of the best that I have ever read. I was obsessed with it, and I was obsessed with this entire series from start to finish. The Elijah Turner trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is the second trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings, and this book and this series has the worst and best cast of characters I have ever read. I've never hated characters so much and then fallen in love with them in such a short span. This is a slower read as you are following along sentient live ships, but also a woman who wants nothing more than to be in charge of her life and also in charge of the ship that she grew up on. But you are also going to be watching men in control of power and determining that they know better than everybody else. It is absolutely a beautiful and breathtaking read, and Robin Hobb does characterization unlike any other author I've ever read. The Stranger Dreamer duology by Laini Taylor. This duology takes place after a war has already ensued, so you're watching the consequences of everybody's actions, but this also feels like a fairy tale. Laszlo and Sarai are some of my favorite main characters that I have ever read about. I love them so much. I love this duology so much. It is not only breathtaking, but it is a breath of fresh air when you are reading, and it is just utterly immaculate and perfect. To absolutely nobody's surprise, The Faithful and the Fallen was my favorite series from this year. I was sucked in and entranced from start to finish. I did not want to let these characters go, as they soon began to feel like a family. A god war is ensuing, and all these characters already have positions that they are meant to play whether they realize it or not. These characters are intriguing, the politics are otherworldly, and just the classic fantasy feel and the fight scenes are just perfect. John Gwynne is a fantastic writer, and if you haven't read this series yet, please give it a shot. It is perfect.